Hi, Jennifer. First, I wanted to say thank you so much for meeting with me and introducing me to your beautiful family and telling me all about them. Your children are beautiful and so sweet, and I loved watching them interact with each other while they played in the room with us. And it's just your home looks like such a happy environment for them, which is wonderful. Um, Next, I'd like to say that it's interesting because your son began to have seizures at a young age, which I know you said stemmed from um, when his mom was pregnant with him. His biological mom was pregnant with him. She was, unfortunately using, which caused some things for him. But it's interesting. I know he was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I actually have a child with that epilepsy as well. He was diagnosed at 8 years old. So we are both epilepsy moms, which is an unfortunate but interesting bond. So I wanted to share that with you. Um, so just, going over what we discussed and the things that you brought up, which, um, some things that were challenging in your home. And I thought that we can go over some suggestions that may work for you to try, and your family, work for your family to try and, make your life a little less stressful and try to maybe get in some routines that maybe be able to help your family just be a little bit more cohesive and just, happier all around. So, one thing that I was considering, I know that you said that he often has meltdowns in stores like Target if he wants something. And of course, all toddlers, like we discussed, all toddlers have meltdowns and they don't like to hear the word no. So that's normal. But like you had said, some special needs children do often have more severe meltdowns. So we want to help you, get to a point where going to a store won't be so stressful and you don't have to avoid it or find a babysitter. I know that your family is super helpful, but if you're in the car and you want to stop at Target, you should be able to do that. So, I think that one thing that would be good would be maybe to start going to stores as a family. Maybe start with some stores that don't necessarily sell things that your son would be interested in. So, maybe, Target's super overwhelming. I mean, for anyone, it's just a lot. But maybe a clothing store where, you know, lady shirts would not be of interest to him. Um, and, just for a limited time. So it's just an introduction, basically, like maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You'll know best, how long he can be there without getting overwhelmed or needing some more stimulation. Um, what I would suggest also is, you're going to prepare for this, so it's not going to be just randomly initially. Um, so maybe bring along. I would suggest that you bring along something that would be interesting to him. Maybe a toy that he likes, a book that he enjoys reading, something that's going to hold his interest for those 5 or 7 or 10 minutes that you're going to be in the store. That way, he's in the store with you and he's concentrating on what he's doing. So he's not necessarily looking for other things that, are going to get his attention. So that would be something that I would say would be a good idea. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And of course, in my IFSP, I was more specific about it, but of course, that's, up to you. Um, so I think that, that would be a good suggestion. You can start like 2 or 3 times a week, see how it goes, and then of course you can increase the time that you're spending there. So, the goal would be that eventually he would be able to go to all different stores. But you're going to start with something that is the best suit for him. Another goal that I would suggest, and we had discussed, you used to like to go to restaurants together, and I think that's such a nice thing to do as a family. Um, and it became challenging for you to do that. So I would suggest that you start doing that again. But of course, within his parameters. So, you're not going to want to go to a sit down fancy restaurant right now because, you're just not at that point. And there's no sense in bringing you yourself even into that situation or him. That's, it's not going to be conducive for him right now. So I think that a good suggestion would be like a fast food restaurant. Um, let's say McDonald's, for example. I mean, whatever you prefer, but you're going to want to keep the timing, let's say, to 15 minutes, including the ordering time. So it would be like beginning to end 15 minutes, if that's something, if you think that that would work. Um, so, it's McDonald's, for instance, fast food restaurants are just more available for children. They have bigger booths, so it would be less restrictive for him, so he's not stuck in a chair. Um, he has the ability to kind of move around in the booth too. So if he does get a little bit antsy, he can, move it himself or maybe sit on his knees if he needs to, sit on his bottom, different ways. It just makes it easier for him to just least restrictive. Um, also, if your first time he isn't able to get this, sit even for 5 minutes, let's say after you get the food. So fast food restaurants are just better for children. I mean, that's half the people in a fast food restaurant are children. So if he was to get up or make noise or, walk around, that wouldn't be something that was so out of the ordinary for that place. So I would definitely suggest that first. So just to get him acclimated to eating out, because you said he has no food restrictions and he has no issue with eating. So it's really just the restrictions of being in the eating environment. So I thought that was a good suggestion. Um, you know, maybe twice a week. Um, and of course, you know your area and what food is available and what would be something that's fun for him. Also, if you chose to, McDonald's, has like Happy Meals, which, kids enjoy that. So that might be another thing for exciting for him to do, to be there, another incentive to be there. Um, so maybe, twice a week. And again, it's like 15 minutes beginning to end. So it's not this long, drawn out experience where ordering and the waiting and, people walking and waiters and stuff. It would be better reintroduction into eating out before we get to the stage where you'd want to be, where if you wanted to go to a nice restaurant and have an appetizer and a meal and a dessert and it takes an hour, that would be great. The third suggestion that I had was during mealtime in your home. So I know that, again, no restrictions with food, eating isn't an issue, but you just want to be able to, sit down for an extended amount of time, not excessively extended, but extended where the meal is finished. I know that you mentioned that, simulation is an issue. They often need to get up, move around the table, take pauses, which again was one of the issues with eating out, and maybe different seating. I know you mentioned that sometimes you sit in a swing. I was thinking that definitely having something that the family can do together during mealtime. So my suggestion would be either maybe singing a song, or multiple songs, things that your four person unit can do together that the children would be participating in. So their distraction is off. They're eating, but they're occupied with something that's going on and it's a family involvement. And I'm sure they would love to see both of their parents singing a song and being silly because all kids love to see their parents be silly. And or even maybe, maybe one of you or your husband telling a story. Um, that would be enjoyable. That could be enjoyable for them too. So it's, maybe it's a 10-minute period from start to finish, but you're getting through a full meal. They're staying occupied, they're engaged, they're happy, they're eating, and it's just minimal, you know, movement and the pausing and the breaks. So maybe, a 5-minute meal becomes 25 minutes because, you know, every 45 seconds they're shifting or moving or standing up, and it just seems like a longer process. So maybe, we're going to do like 5 times a week, 10-minute periods, and then those 2 nights out. And then, that's 7 meals a week. So, that was my third suggestion. And lastly, I was thinking to just have some type of family activity, because I know that one of your issues was that you had to leave the room a lot to make sure that your daughter and your son weren't together because you want to keep the peace in the house. So I was thinking that team building activities, something that they can do together that would result in a common goal. So my suggestion would be to your family, let's say baking an easy cake, a box cake with minimal ingredients, even if you kind of set it up beforehand with half of it, but something that they can do together and you guys can participate as well under your direction. And the ultimate goal is now they have a cake. Um, maybe even a cake might be too expensive in the beginning. Maybe just like Rice Krispie treats, which is just cereal and marshmallows. We put it in the microwave. So maybe, your son is pouring in the cereal, your daughter is pouring in the marshmallows. They're each mixing it with a spoon together in the same bowl, working together. And, in within 5 minutes, they have this end product that they can enjoy together and see that them working together is getting them good results. So I think that, and again, that can be a Saturday activity. Maybe you're going to do it once a week, just to begin that, interconnection with them so that they're working together and, eventually them being together without you would not be, turning your house upside down. So, those were my four suggestions according to the things that you had mentioned. And of course, you can read more specifically my IFSP, but that's just a sum up. And I wanted to just thank you again for being so open and honest and just really just being such a great mom to these kids and getting them the services and their basic and loving needs that they have. So thank you very much. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.